All right, this is my 3rd gen Tacoma high profile fender liner kit install video that I put together. I'm hoping it helps. Yes, on this Tacoma, we did a 2-inch cut on the fender flare and fender to give it more clearance. And again, that's the purpose of this liner, to help prevent dirt and debris from getting in your air intake, which is a problem after you do all this trimming. There it is. Some of the items and tools you'll need. And then your hardware. Fender liners. This is my Iron Dot T4R Scorched Fabrication fender liner kit. This is what it comes with on the one side. Seven washers, and then another 4 washers and 2 nylock nuts in the kit. All right, and then from here I'm gonna go up and start getting ready for install. So I'm gonna start by this. This is one of the brackets. It's gonna go in place of this little hold down. It's for part of your wire loom in the firewall area here. So we just squeeze these little clips, push in, push out. Okay, that's out of your way. So one of the bolts is gonna go here. We're gonna start with that one right now. So start here, washer. It is this bracket here. It's gonna go to the lower half of it. It's slotted just in case there's any variance, but most of them, this fits beautiful. All right, this, you're gonna need your Allen wrench. I just kind of set it up like this. I'm gonna put it in the hole here. I am going to add this to the inside now. Move that loom out of the way. Washer, nylock nut. Okay. Then I gotta go get my wrench, which is gonna be, let's see, a 7/16. All right, so that's installed now. I don't tighten it too tight yet because you want to be able to move this around a little bit until you get everything finalized. So leave them a little bit loose until the end. All right, and then from there, we are gonna shoot to the next bracket, which is this lower door here. We're using the upper bolt on the door hinges. So it's a 12mm. We're gonna remove the 12mm. All right, I'm gonna install this bracket right here. This goes like that. And it's gonna go towards the back of it for the most part. So that's gonna get installed. And again, this, you're not gonna tighten them up yet until we kind of finalize everything. So I would go just a cinch for the first part. Just something to hold it in there in a decent amount. I can still move it, so you wanna leave it a little bit loose. And it's gonna be at a decent little angle here. That's about where you want it to set. All right, that's a 12mm again for that bolt. So next one is gonna be, this is a reinforcement for your fender. So it's a 10mm. We're gonna remove the 10mm. I've already loosened it just to make it easier for us to show. So 10mm bolt, you're gonna utilize the same bolt. We're gonna go with this bracket now. This is your middle bracket. So this goes in here. The hole's a little oversized, so it has a little bit of wiggle room in here. Again, with these, it's gonna be a 10mm for that. Again, I'm not gonna tighten this up too much. I'm just gonna snug it for now to make sure I get everything aligned, and then once I get all aligned, we will tighten everything up. kind of drop it. I pull it down firm and then just kind of line this so it looks generally straight. There you go, there's that bracket now. Good and firm. All right, so we have our 3 brackets now in place. Everything's not super tight, just because you need to be able to move these around a little bit. I might have to rotate a little bit or move up and down a little bit. All right, currently we're working on the passenger side in this video. This is just a guide for the driver's side to help you figure out where this particular bracket goes on your installation for that side when you get to that point. Tape here, I'm just gonna bring a tape in. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this bolt here now. Okay, at the 10 millimeter, we're gonna go ahead and tighten this one because it's kind of fixed somewhat and it's where it needs to be. Not a lot of adjustability here. So now from that rev nut there to the other nut, I want this to be around 8 inches, in that range, between 8, 8 3/8, 8 1/4, anywhere in that range. Should bring you relatively close to when we do the install for this guy. So these bolts right here should line up pretty good with that. I'm gonna go ahead and say, leave this, where it can move around pretty easy. This may have to be bent in or out just a little bit depending on your vehicle. Every vehicle has a little bit of character, very little character. So there's a little bit of playroom. Having the aluminum brackets and everything, you have wiggle room to move this around to line everything up. Before we get everything bolted in now, I'm gonna put this is your splicer plate, puts the 2 together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this together with 2 of the bolts and washers now. Just kind of get that ready. So I do this half first. It's the back half. I always put this, it's easier to start this, have this on there. Easier with this. There we go. And again, leave them loose. Leave that loose a little bit. Just makes it easier to align things. Gives a little bit of movement, so easier install. Okay. All right, we're gonna tighten this one up a little bit now that I did some aligning. With the back section of the liner first. So on the back of here, there's your trim clips. So we have your orange one. What I like to do is you could take your pliers if they have the little cutter in them. I like to take off the little ends that are on the orange one here first. Just no sharp points. It just makes it easier to install. And then I'm gonna grab this guy. I go from the back side, if you can see the trim fastener. So it's on the back side of that. I'll line everything up in here. Kind of wiggle, you have to wiggle it around a little bit. It takes a little bit of finessing to get it in. Just a little bit. Push it down firm, down this way first. See the holes are lining up. You might have to take your tool here. If the holes are off a little bit, you can kind of wiggle that around and kind of line them up. Line them up. Okay, so now you know these are lined up good and down, push down tight this way. And these holes are all lined up and everything. So you got that lined up. Once you do that, remove this again. Remove this. Take your 12 millimeter. You know this is good now. Tighten them up. All right, now we're gonna cut this guy back in. Again, a little bit of finesse back on the back side of this. Push it down tight to the bottom. There's your alignments. Right there, boom. Okay, now we're gonna take the hardware that I supplied. And just start all these. Don't tighten them up yet, just get them all started. I start them all. Let's see. I don't tighten them, I just leave them, like I said, just get them close. Close, I'm gonna make them a little bit closer. Right there. All right, so now we're gonna take our next half, which is the mid front section. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy. I've already tightened this one up. I made sure this all fit. I kind of dry fit everything first, just to make sure it all fits. and for alignment purposes and all that. So basically, the front section now, okay? Brackets all in place. This is loose, ready to go. This, I'm gonna start right here. There's a bolt here, you just wanna make sure you're above that. That'll hang you up, it throws you off. So basically like that. And then this into place. It doesn't always hold like this. Sometimes you need extra hands to hold things in place. It just depends. All right, so I start with the next. And to align it, I like to move it around the Allen wrench. Sometimes you can find the hole with the Allen, slide it around where it's centered. Get these all started. Again, they don't need to be tight, just snug and started. Because you might have to wiggle it around to get the seams to join together. So, and once you get the seam together, you can go ahead and snug these up a little more. And then just a little final, you can snug these all up now. And don't over tighten, you don't have to over tighten, just a good firm snug. All right, and then we have this one we're gonna put in next. Washer are being supplied, stainless steel, everything. Again, like I said, for alignment, if things don't line up, you just put your Allen wrench in the hole and you can kind of wiggle this around, kind of help pull things into place a little bit. And again, I like to leave them not tight yet. I'm gonna tighten this just a little more back here. I'm gonna go ahead and snug these up just a little bit more. Everything's got a little bit of tension on it. Here, this, I like to push this up. There's these ribs right here. Here, there's 3 ribs. I kind of like to push it up to in the middle rib right there. I'm gonna drill a hole. I've already pre-drilled these holes prior to the video just to make things a little quicker to show. This is your final step, attaching the front of this fender liner here, this tab. I got 2 holes. You're probably only gonna basically utilize the one, this one here. Okay, I pre-drilled on this one, but I'm gonna show you what size drill we used. Drill, and I'm going, it's a quarter inch hardware. So I would suggest going a little bigger. So you can go the 17/64 or the 9/32. Just a little oversized on the hole, just to make this easier to get in and out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this in position, okay? Again, like I said, there's this ribs right here. It's this middle rib is what I like to line this one up on. If I can't hit the hole, I just use this to align me a little bit. That's after drilling the hole. I have to check again. There it is. That's started. Now that we got that in, we're gonna go ahead and put this assembly in. So your washer and your nut, stainless steel lock nut. Lock nut. Not crazy tight, but firm. Don't over tighten things. Little bolts. All right, that's in. Now go ahead and tighten these up now. I'm gonna go ahead and cinch these up a little bit now. Cinch. Okay. Everything's in. That's your install, and then you're going to repeat this to the other side.